Welcome, everyone, to the David Guillen podcast. This is episode 15. As always, I value your time. And so I will be discussing the energy of this week that is taken from various ancient texts, as well as weaving in astrological and spiritual energy. And I hope that every sentence is impactful for you in such a way that you may want to hear this again, because every time you rehear this content, I promise you will hear something different. The energy of this week, one of the things I want to talk about is from the ancient writings of the Zohar, written about 2,000 years ago. And it talks about the three different kinds of people in this world and their ability to create miracles. I was in France not too long ago, and I had gotten into car service, and the other person sitting next to me wasn't putting on their seatbelt. So I put on my seatbelt because, that's in America, that's what we do. We just put on our seatbelt. And this person's like, why are you putting on your seatbelt? And I said, because I'm used to doing that. Like, why not? It takes 5 seconds and it can save your life. And then this person said, don't you trust in the light of the Creator? Why? It sounds like you don't trust. They were being a little facetious. And my answer to them actually had to do with what the energy of this week is. The Zohar says a person should never trust in miracles, but trust in the light of the Creator. So what does that mean? My teacher, Rob Berg, once said that by not putting on the seatbelt, and there's many secrets to this, you are borrowing the angels and positive forces that you have created in the past to use to protect you in the car right now. Meaning that, yes, of course, you can put yourself in dangerous situations. You can put yourself in situations where it's more likely than not that you'll be harmed in some way. And yes, if you have trust and certainty, you are protected to some degree. But what you are doing in this case, by quote unquote being lazy, right? When you have laziness plus certainty, then you borrow from your future miracles. When you have maximum work and effort plus trust and certainty, then the miracles happen quickly and you're not borrowing from the bank of great things that you've created, because we've all created a bank of positive energy. And sometimes we wonder, well, when do I get to access it? And why isn't it manifesting? Because many times we will do something positive. We will transform something. We've learned this in Kabbalah. We'll transform something inside ourselves and we reveal what's called the light of the Creator. But maybe the very next hour or day, you have more chaos. This is completely normal. And what's happening here is you are building your account of energy, but the Creator is seeing that it is not time to cash in that account. One time I went to a carnival with one of my kids, and he got some tickets from the arcades. Like he won some tickets, and you walk the tickets over to the counter to pick the prizes, right? And you know how these prizes work. You have the prizes that maybe require 5 tickets to redeem. They're at the bottom. There's these little dinky toys. And then you have the really nice prizes going all the way up the wall that require thousands of tickets. There was a PlayStation. There was these giant stuffed animals. And he says to me, I want one of those big stuffed animals. I said, you need 500 tickets. He said, how many do I have? I said, you have 20 tickets. And so he was about to just buy a dinky toy. I said, do you want the dinky toy? He said, no. I said, so why are you buying it? He said, because I only have 20. I said, why don't you save the 20 and let's go get the 500 so you can get the prize you want? And many times in life, this is what we do. We have 20 tickets. We have 50 tickets. We have 100 tickets. But really, our heart and soul, we want the prize. We want the goal that is 500 or 1,000 tickets. We want that PlayStation that is way up on the wall that very few people have the patience to work for. And so in our lives, every time we are reactive, every time we are lazy, every time we just say, you know what, the Creator is going to take care of it without putting in our maximum effort, we are cashing in tickets too early. And then we're wondering, why it's taking so long to manifest the thing I want. I've shared this in my prosperity course. One of the secrets to manifesting miracles is to suffocate and overwhelm the system, the problem. And you have to do that both spiritually and physically. A lot of people know how to work really hard and work a problem in the physical world. But I'll tell you, if you also knew how to do it in the spiritual world, you do both, not just spiritual, but you do both. What would often take someone who just does the physical work to solve a problem, maybe it might take them a few weeks. Combine it with the spiritual, it could take you a few hours or even a few minutes. This is what we're talking about. No one here is saying, don't hustle, don't work hard. We got to work. We have to work. We are in this physical world to remove what's called the bread of shame. We have to. The body must move to stay alive. We must go to the gym to live longer. We must actually put stress on our body in order to live longer, not live less. So the physical world also, we must remove the bread of shame. And those of you who took Kabbalah 1, you know what bread of shame is. It's the need to spiritually earn in this world why our soul chose to come here. So every time we are reactive, every time we are lazy, every time we have doubts and we worry, we cash in our chips. Because at that moment of doubts and fear, we disconnect from the light. Now, if a person disconnects from the light of the Creator, technically they should die. Because death is really the elevation of the soul, which is holding the light. So when the soul is bound, when the soul is needed to leave the body, the person experiences death. Without a connection to the light of the Creator, there is death. So when a person has doubts and fears and they dwell on those doubts and fears, I'm not talking about when the thoughts just come to you. When the thoughts just come to you, this is coming from above as a test. There is a moment where we have the free will and choice to believe it, to dwell on it, to make it part of us. And we all know when that moment is. You know when the thoughts are just coming to you, or when the thoughts have come to you and now you are dwelling on it all day, all week, all year, taking it a step further, manifesting these doubts through talking about them with other people, complaining, being a victim, right? This has now become part of your essence. Technically, in this exact moment of complaining or doubts or fears, we're dead. We're disconnected from the light. So why are we still alive? Why doesn't a person literally just drop dead the moment they have doubts? And that is because the way that the Creator has created our world, He's balanced all energies. So a person actually draws from their prior miracles in order to stay alive in that day. So think about this for a moment. A woman comes to me and says, I'm ready to find my soulmate. This is the work I have done to earn my soulmate. And she lists all the spiritual great things she's done, including finally moving on from maybe a past relationship that she's been going back and forth to. Maybe she's been going to therapy and working on her fears and her issues. She's studying Kabbalah. She's learning how to pause with these negative thoughts and transform her nature. She's learning about her tikkun, which we learn, which is our soul's correction. She's having certainty whenever she's having doubts. She's choosing to be happy on demand as opposed to waiting for things to make her happy. These are all concepts we've learned here in Kabbalah and many more. So let's say she's done all these things and she's 90% there to finding and earning, creating the vessel for her soulmate. She got 10% left. So imagine now, as we're getting closer to the completion of the vessel to earn the soulmate, you can almost kind of say there's a wedding date that's going to happen. They're going to meet, and there's even, because when a person meets, even the day that they're going to get married is already predetermined. Now, we think we're choosing dates. We're not choosing dates. There's a predetermination of the date of the marriage. So let's say it is now September 1st, and her wedding date is actually based on her current spiritual work and trajectory. Her actual wedding date is going to be, let's say, September 1st of the next year. When she starts giving in to her fears and doubts for whatever reason, let's say that ex comes back. And it's an ex that she is sure of. That's not good for her, but she doesn't know what to do. Or maybe she stalks the ex. This, by the way, this goes she or he, so please don't think that I'm just talking about a she. Go she or he. You stalk the ex. You speak badly about the ex. you you have depression about the ex. Anything you do that you know it is out of alignment with the energy of the Creator, what this does is it's drawing from the 90% of the work you've already done. So now you're going down to 80. Now you're going down to 70. Now you're going down to 60. And you can actually see, because of the shift of destiny, the wedding date get pushed back. Another week, another week, another week, another week. It's that scientific. It's that powerful. We often don't realize the power of our consciousness. We don't realize that, hey, 6, 7, 8 hours of dwelling on nonsense and victim consciousness is actually causing so many of my blessings, which were just about to come, just to be delayed. And it's not a punishment. It's simply that we have just paused the building of the vessel. It's kind of like construction, right? Imagine you're doing construction, you're 90% complete, but you don't have the funding to finish the last 10%. You still can't move in. So everybody waits. Haven't you seen some of these construction projects just sitting around like 80, 90% built? They haven't been touched for years. The body in many ways works the same. If you do not feed the body has to go to its reserves. It has to go to fat that is stored to convert into energy. The body knows this well. Obviously, the goal would be that we're always using the energy that is being given to us and growing and manifesting who we are in the right way. It's not about starving ourselves to become the person we want to be. It's more about putting in the effort and energy so that the body can function properly and we can keep moving towards a manifested vessel. So one of the lessons of this week is, how close are we to our goals? We don't know. You don't know if you're 1% away, 10% away, 50% away. You don't know. So what should you do? There are some indications to kind of know where you're at. When it gets really dark, when it gets really bad, and when you're about to give up, this is indication that you're very close. You could be a couple percent away. In fact, when the soul leaves this world, the Kabbalists say, what is hell? What does hell look like? In fact, everybody must go through hell for even a moment. And we could probably do a whole other podcast about what happens when the soul leaves the body. But what is one of the experiences of hell that the soul has? The soul, once it leaves the body, it doesn't have the limitations of the body. It sees the whole picture. It sees past, present, and future. And you are literally shown a movie of your entire life. You are shown what your purpose was. You are shown that you actually chased things that meant nothing, and you avoided things that meant everything. You are actually shown that you were 10 minutes away from tapping into the destiny that has your perfect career, abundance, love. You were 10 minutes away, but you felt despondent, you felt sad, you had doubts, and then you maybe went back to some old form of escape or instant gratification. And the soul is watching this from above, that moment in time. And you were so close, just 10 minutes away. But because we didn't push forward those next 10 minutes, we had to start the process all over again. Or maybe we delayed. Instead of 10 minutes, it became now a year or 10 years, or maybe even the next lifetime. The soul feels so much pain from what it just experienced and saw that the soul begs to come back to the world to do it right. And the soul tells itself, I now know every challenge and painful situation is an illusion and a test, and I must just push through. So the strength that we are given this week, do not rely on anything outside of you. Don't even look at if you're close or you're far. Unconditionally maximize the physical work you do in this world. And we all know what that is. Whatever you need to do at your job, just do it really well. Whatever you need to do with your family, just do it really well. There's many other podcasts that talk about how to be a great business person, and how to be a great father. And that's not what I want to kind of talk about the concepts and energy that are above this, in another realm. It's complementary. Do everything in the physical world. Do not stop, because we're here to blend both worlds. But in the spiritual world, maximize your consciousness. Maximize your certainty. Tell yourself, and here's some mantras you can use. Despite what I see with my eyes, and despite what I hear with my ears, I have complete certainty that everything is good at this moment. Everything is already manifested. I am whole. I am perfect. And even though all these negative thoughts are coming, I love these negative thoughts as well. In fact, I celebrate these negative thoughts. Negative thoughts, come be with me in my whole perfect system. Don't be afraid of them. Embrace them. Bring them in. In fact, introduce the negative thoughts to your very whole perfect consciousness. Say, hey, come meet my consciousness. It is whole and perfect. Don't let the negative thoughts become your consciousness. This is the strength and energy we have this week. You can ask the Creator at every moment, give me the strength to unconditionally maximize both the physical and spiritual work, and then trust that everything will work out after that. I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to doubt it. I know it is already manifested, and I'm ready to move forward.